What have you done to my car?
Oh no. Hey everybody, this is Kilobyte. If you'll notice, there's some things wrong with my wife's CX-9. I am in the middle of installing the new USB hub for the Android Auto and CarPlay. Got the kit. You can get the kit from various places. Just do a search online for your model and do USB hub CarPlay Android Auto kit, and one of the numerous places that sell them will show up. They're 150, give or take some money. And yes, I got it all in pieces, but don't worry, I'll tell you how we got to this point and then how to get back to where it's all together. One thing let me mention, you absolutely have to do the firmware update first. If you are not running R70, I believe it is, you will need to upgrade your firmware. I have a video on doing so. Put a link actually in the description to my video on updating the firmware. It's the same on all Mazdas 2016 and newer with the Mazda Connect. So the kit's going to come with some papers. It's going to have two cables with connector ends on them, some tie wraps, and this lovely foam. This foam is to wrap around the cables so that they don't rattle when they don't create rattles and rubs when you're driving. I'll show you how to wrap those. Using trim tool, just start popping this out, and this whole piece will come off. Remove that screw right there. That'll allow you to pull that one back. That little plate behind the screen, just use a little small screwdriver from each side, pop them out. Now you want to remove both of those 10 mil bolts. They are very long, they need to come completely out. So for this part, this whole piece is going to come up using a trim tool. You're going to slide this in, start prying up, and it will literally pops right out. There's going to be two cables. So you're going to have to unplug from the back of the screen. Focus. And they're pretty simple to pull out, but remember which goes which because they'll only go one way. Using a 10 mil socket to remove that bolt and that bolt. That will free this up so you can pull it out. Don't scratch anything up if you care about it. I highly suggest that you take a picture before unplugging all your cables. But you may want to unplug them all, and they will want to fall back down in there. Focus. Now, the location where you plug your new cables in will be right here. And the good news is you can't plug them in wrong because they have keys that won't allow you to do that. Green, put it in the camera frame, there you go. We'll go here. The one with the blue will go here, and again, because they're keyed, that's the only place they can go. Then you'll plug in all the rest, put it back in. Now, what do we got to do first? We got to wrap these in foam, that foam tape, and then we got to drop them down in this corner. So let's go ahead, we'll wrap them and then drop them. So I've got the cable here. What I did is I lined it up so that the cables are running parallel. And the way you do this is you put one of the rectangles of foam, sticky side up, and then you just literally wrap the foam tape, focus, around the cables. Doesn't have to be pretty, but it does need to cover. You'll have more foam tape than you can use. So don't worry about that. I had just left maybe 1.5 inches open at the top because these plug in right next to each other. And what I'm going to do is wrap about the first 2.5 feet, because we're going to drop it down into the dash, and it's going to come out the bottom, which we will then run to the back. And what I'm looking at doing is having the excess cable all down there where it makes the turn to go back, and you'll see what I'm talking about when we get to that point. So I have my cable, and I literally dropped it right down the front right corner. Right in there. That probably was odd. And then it comes out right here. And this cable is so long it reaches all the way back along the seat in the back there. So it's very long, and you can see the foam tape came all the way, no problem down. The old cable here, I'm going to take and wrap it. Since I got plenty of foam tape, I'll wrap it with a couple pieces of foam tape to keep it from rattling. And I have, right now, I've got that much play, and we'll see how much I end up with. That's probably more than I need, but again, the cable's so long, as long as it doesn't rattle, I'm fine. To remove the back trim, you'll want to use a trim tool, and you place it in here, and you just start popping it out. It will literally pop straight out. If you don't have a trim tool, you can try taking some tape, like painter's tape, and putting around the end of a large flathead screwdriver. That'll minimize the damage, but a trim tool would be really nice, really helpful. Hopefully this isn't too dark, but I want to show you what I did here. So the back piece, I actually turn it and then set it on top. So that's out of the way. I don't have to break all the connectors. If you see right here, that is a coat hanger. Now, if you have a fish, all right, that's what they call the little cable thing that you run through the walls to pull cables. It's a metal line, and it's generally stay straight. You run them through tight holes, and then you can fish things through walls that way. This is a coat hanger, a metal coat hanger, and hopefully that'll show. It's super dark, sorry. And I've sent it from the back forward, right there. and it's come out right here. Now, the idea is I will take these two ends and I will tape them to the end of the hanger, and then carefully pull it back. Probably have to have someone on this end to feed the cables while someone on the back slowly pulls it. And the idea is that you don't have to take any of that center console out. And by the way, if you're thinking, hey, wait, I'll just pull these right here out, unscrew those, no, that's not going to do you any good. So if you want to do it, try it, but it won't help you. So that is what I'm going to attempt to do now, is pull those cables through. May have to do one at a time. We will see. So that's how I taped mine. Try to take up the least amount of space as you can. And cooperate with me, light. There we go. And what I've got is I didn't put them parallel. One is behind the other one. I hope that the video will show that. And I tried to, this was actually wrapped around the front of that one. Try to minimize it catching, but I worked it from front to back. I actually sat in the rider's seat, left hand back here pulling, right hand feeding, and just worked it back and forth. That's why they call it fishing. But yep, it comes right out through here. Now I will, oh wait, we got to pull out the old hub. Okay, let me show you how to do that. So here's the piece, the whole piece, and it actually will pop out. These right here are what holds it in. So when it's down under here, just push on those and it will pop out. Now for the USB hub itself, maybe I'll show you on the new one. There are these right here. You pinch those in, one on each end, and that'll get them out of sweat drips into my eye. Yay, yeah, it's like 92 and super humid. Beautiful May. Anyway, that'll let you get it out of this base. Be sure to pull your SD card out and any USB drives. I ended up sticking a screwdriver in and busting off the tabs. That's what I did on my Miata as well. It just is much easier, and this has no value. So just broke all the tabs off, and there you go. Well, all but one. Okay, now make sure when you're putting the new one in that you have it aligned the correct direction. And that will be like so. Of course it goes in the other direction, but it just snaps in. Hopefully you can see that. When you run the cables up from the bottom, be aware that there is the white, see the white pieces down there? Those need to be able to move. And it'd be nice if my camera would focus, but I can't do anything. Come on. You don't want your cables, new cables, to interfere with those, so make sure you're running them where they won't. And there's the cables. You can see I covered up the old one. It stays in place. Don't try to pull it out. It's attached to the rest of the wiring. Now we're going to plug those in to the back of the hub. Hub goes in. Verify the cables are in the right place where they're not going to interfere. Use those zip ties if needed, and you can also wrap these cables in with that foam if you're worried about any sort of vibrations. You can see the excess wire is now right here and completely covered in that foam tape. I took a tie wrap here and it is loosely tie wrapped to a cable that runs back behind it. I think that is actually the gear shift, and it is again loosely, but it's being held away from anything that might rub or cause a vibration. So we should be good there. The back hub is in place. Now we're going to plug in all of our cables and start putting things in the reverse order in which they were taken apart. So the CarPlay USB hub is in. Just plugged up my phone. It's still trying to connect to my wife's phone, which is very annoying. Unlock iPhone to use accessory. Whoops. Yeah. Hello, iPhone! Really, password is required. Sorry, I can't show you my passcode. Hope you didn't listen for those keys. Apple CarPlay. Check it out. If it'll focus. I agree. Allow with Mazda phone is locked. Allow. Boom, baby. There you go. It worked. Now, time to have some fun. Hope this was helpful. If so, please like, subscribe, comment, and good luck with yours.